It's been weeks now that we know that multiple senators, including Kelly Loeffler, used the confidential information they were given a couple months ago about coronavirus to make a huge amount of money and avoid losing large amounts of money on the stock market. And there have been calls for them to be kicked out of their office, if not sent to prison for the obvious insider trading that they engaged in. Thus far, there have been no consequences. But today, indications that there might be consequences. There might be justice? Kind of. Not really, but something. So here's what we've got. Congressman Doug Collins, the former top Republican on the House Judiciary Committee, is leading Ms Loeffler 36% to 13% in Georgia's all-party special election. Among likely voters who identify as Republicans, Mr. Collins led Ms Loeffler 70 to 20%, which means that she probably will not go to prison, and the guy that will potentially replace her is probably, a disaster of his own, but she might lose her job at the very least, and thus access to the information that she will use to, engage in future corruption.
Well, I mean,
impressed at
least
all?
she'll still be able to do it. Yeah, she'll still be able to continue to trade to the degree that she does on the stock market without anyone nagging her about it and talking about how she potentially is utilizing this whole pandemic for her financial gain. But so there's a natural thought that you want to celebrate this horrible person potentially losing. We'll see where it goes.
We'll see.
Getting, at least the polls showing her getting trounced right now. But Doug Collins.
Yeah? You think he might be just as bad?
I mean, maybe for different reasons. I don't know what his portfolio is like. I'm not sure what his insider trading skills are. Again, I'm not accusing him of doing it, just looks that way. I'm not sure his degree of being involved in the stock market in times like this, but I do know he was one of the loudest, boisterous, annoying voices during every issue that Trump had that he was exposed for as illegal activity, being one of the biggest offenders and kneelers to the president. So this is also the same guy that once he decided to make this run in the Senate, the Republican Party, the state Republican Party there wanted nothing to do with him making this move. They got really upset. It's one of the few times you'll see Republicans openly discourage and almost kind of beat down one of their own and saying, "How dare you do this right now? Hey, stay right there. This is going to be a problem. What if you run up here and this happens?" They had an issue with his move. And maybe he had some inside information about her inside information.
Yeah.
And he knew this was going to fall apart for her and he wanted to take advantage. But they were not on board. I wonder how much they've switched now.
Yeah, I don't know. And look, we're going to end up, if he gets the seat, that's going to be terrible too. But I don't know, at least temporarily, I want to see something like justice because we're finding out more and more. I'm going to give you details on another individual in just a second, but there has to be some kind of consequences for this. And it has been infuriating to me over the past few weeks that so few in the media have stayed on this story. Like that we were just like, that does seem like that's wrong. Okay, so what else is going on? Man, that Tiger King, that's something. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I totally get it. But this is horrendous. And as I tweeted earlier, maybe this is going too far. I don't know. But if you sell off stock knowing that the stock market is going to collapse to avoid losing money, that is one thing. When you buy up stock in companies that will only do well if coronavirus devastates America, then think about the incentives that provides for you. When you go to vote or to lead on legislation or to slow roll legislation or just stay quiet about what could be done, you have a financial incentive against the interest of the American people and the continuation of their lives. And I know what you'll say. Well, obviously they're not going to do something that will kill people just to make some money. Okay, first of all, I don't think that's obvious, but do you really want to be in a position where we have to hope that she puts our medical interests ahead of her financial interests? Do you really want to be in that position? I don't know her. She's been in that position for a couple of months. Do you really trust her to make the right call based on what you know about her stock activity? I damn sure don't.
And what is about her as a politician that has you trust her and her potential in changing your health? I mean, look, when Obamacare was rolled out, there was a lot of people who were against it. They said, I can't trust a guy to get between me and my doctor, death panels, all the things they were pushing. So for some reason, why don't those things apply to another person that's in public office that doesn't know you and is proven they don't care about you or care about policies that will help you? It's, again, they prove themselves, but we just refuse to listen at times. And maybe people are starting to listen with her situation because look what's happening.
And look, she's obviously not the only one, so I want to update you on another individual that was potentially engaging in these sorts of activities. Senator David Perdue of Georgia bought stock in DuPont, a chemical company that produces personal protective equipment, on the same day the Senate received a classified briefing on the spread of the novel coronavirus, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Perdue's disclosure form lists 112 transactions, 82 of which were made on March 3rd alone. 76 were stock purchases of as much as $1.8 million. The report also documents 34 stock sales worth as much as $825K.
Wow.
The Journal-Constitution reported that Perdue's portfolio activity from March onward was 3 times busier than it was in the last 13-month period before the coronavirus hit the US. So, Shore acted fast and acted a lot, far more than in literally more than a year beforehand. But according to spokeswoman for Perdue, Sherry Gillian, she said that since coming to the U.S. Senate in 2015, Senator Perdue has always had an outside advisor managing his personal finances, and he's not involved in day-to-day decisions. For the past 5 years, the senator has fully complied with federal law and all Senate ethics requirements. I don't doubt those last two parts, because the law is set up in a way to allow them to get away with all sorts of things, and there are virtually no ethics requirements whatsoever. So that's a funny little trick you've got there. But the idea that he left a meeting and went and immediately bought shares in a company that theoretically will do very well as a result of what our government knew but wasn't saying about coronavirus. Oh yeah, I'm sure an outside advisor just happened to come to the same conclusion that the senator did based on confidential information that he had just gotten. For all we know, he rushed into the hallway, put Prudential or whatever on his phone, I don't know what app he uses, and bought the stock right then. That is some coincidence.
Yeah, and then you can say within the law, the lawyers speak always is highlighted, or it gets exposed in these situations. Hey, he did everything he did within the law during this time period that they would allow him to. Yeah, and there's a lot of allowances within the law to allow people to do things like this and get away with it. Only certain people, by the way, not everyone. So, okay, we talked before about how Loeffler had her issues, and maybe we should just not even allow if you're elected official to even trade, so you don't even have the look of impropriety, huh? How about that? Okay, so let's take a step further. Okay, you have no idea what your outside blind financial advisor who's making the moves with $825,000 in one small piece of your money is doing. Okay, it's okay. So since you're separated from them and you're an elected official and you work for us, we get to ask your financial advisor, what was the reasoning then? Show us the reasons why you did what you did at the time. Yeah. And yeah, that seems like it's violating his personal information. Am I right? You don't get that personal information anymore because it looks like you're defrauding the American people to profit off of sicknesses and deaths and information that you could have given to everyone else to save more lives. So yes, we are privy to that information now. If you're saying you have nothing to do with it, what are the reasons that you had this cure? You hit home runs every time, just blindly. This is a really good financial advisor. He should work for everybody, huh?
He should. He shouldn't. Look, so obviously I don't think they should be allowed to have stock. I think that they should be banned from making money in all sorts of different ways. Lifetime ban on lobbying. They shouldn't be able to do the high dollar speeches and all that. If they're going to be servants of us, let them be actual servants. Okay, they shouldn't be making huge amounts of money. But someone pointed out, we said, that like you can't bet on, an athletic event that you're part of if you're a professional.
Yeah.
Someone pointed out, you can't join contests and raffles that are sponsored or hosted by your own company in a lot of cases, but you can buy stocks that'll be affected by your actions as a politician. And why is it, by the way, that we haven't found one senator who left these meetings and went and invested in, froyo and escape rooms? No one made bad financial decisions coming out of those meetings. Isn't that weird that we haven't found one? Maybe they're just shy.
No one left and then went and put a bunch of money into Ford.
Yeah, or Banana Republic. Everyone came out, like you said, like just batting, 500. I don't know.
Batting 1,000.
Bet 1,000, I guess. Okay, I didn't want to go too far.
500 is pretty good too, but no,
it is.
They're batting at an incredible rate right now.
I hear 300 is good. I hear it's good. Jeter, Anyway, sports on the damage report. Where's Ricky Strum? Let's get him in here. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.